Imagine having the power to control your emotions, maintain unshakable calm, and find peace no matter how chaotic life gets. What if I told you that the ancient teachings of Stoicism could help you not only survive, but thrive in a world full of uncertainty and distractions? If you're tired of letting external circumstances dictate your happiness and want to take back control, then this video is for you. Because today, we're diving deep into the 6 core Stoic principles that will transform your mind and life, helping you become the person you were always meant to be. Welcome to Stoic Mastery, where we explore the timeless philosophy of Stoicism and how to use its techniques to master your mind, emotions, and life. Subscribe now, and let's get started on the path to becoming the ultimate version of yourself. Before we jump into the first principle, if you're finding value in this content, hit that like button. And in the comments, let me know. What's one thing you'd like to let go of in your life to create more mental space and clarity? Drop a comment with your empowering phrase. Number 1. The dichotomy of control. One of the most powerful principles in Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, a concept that teaches us to separate what we can control from what we cannot. It's a simple idea, but it's life-changing. By focusing only on what we can control, we stop wasting time and energy on things outside our influence, which leads to peace of mind and emotional resilience. At its core, the dichotomy of control consists of 2 parts: the things we can control and the things we cannot control. Let's start with the things we can control. These are our actions, our thoughts, our emotions, and how we respond to the world. For example, you can't control the actions of others, but you can control how you react to them. You can decide to respond with patience or frustration. You can control your inner dialogue, choose to stay calm, and maintain a rational perspective, no matter what life throws at you. Now, let's look at the things we cannot control. These include external events, such as the weather, the actions of other people, or the future. Let's say you're stuck in traffic and running late for an important meeting. You can't control the traffic, nor can you control the actions of the other drivers. However, you can control how you react. You can either let frustration take over, or you can choose to accept the situation, stay calm, and use the time to mentally prepare for the meeting. The key here is acceptance. Understanding and applying the dichotomy of control can be life-changing. Most people spend their time worrying about things they can't change, like the actions of others or the uncertainties of the future. This creates anxiety, stress, and frustration because we feel powerless. But when we focus only on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and our responses, we regain our power and can handle life's challenges with much more ease. In practice, this principle helps you find peace. You stop trying to control things outside your influence and instead focus on what you can shape: your attitude, your behavior, and your choices. For example, if someone insults you, you can't control what they say, but you can control whether you let it affect you. You can choose to remain calm, respond with grace, or simply let it go. Dark psychology. The dichotomy of control also helps protect you from manipulative tactics. People often use emotions to control or manipulate others. If you're constantly worried about others' opinions or trying to control outcomes, you leave yourself vulnerable. But when you live by the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control, you stop being reactive. You begin to stay centered and not be easily manipulated by others' actions or emotions. By embracing this principle, you regain control over your mind and emotions. You stop being at the mercy of external events and instead start living with clarity, focus, and purpose. Mid-video engagement prompt. If you've ever struggled with trying to control things beyond your reach, comment below on how you plan to implement the dichotomy of control into your life. Also, hit the like button if you believe this principle could transform your mindset. Number 2, embrace the present moment. One of the core principles of Stoicism is the practice of living in the present moment. In a world filled with distractions, anxieties about the future, and regrets about the past, it's easy to overlook the power of the here and now, but the Stoics believed that true peace and contentment could only be found when we fully embraced the present moment, as it is the only time we truly control. The Stoics knew how easily the mind could become trapped in memories of past mistakes or worries about the future. When you allow yourself to get caught up in these thoughts, you're essentially giving away your power. You are no longer living for yourself in the moment, but instead dwelling on things you can't change or influence. The Stoics encouraged us to refocus our attention on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and emotional responses in the present. When you shift your focus to the present, you stop stressing over things beyond your control. You can't change what happened yesterday, and you can't predict what will happen tomorrow. The only time that truly matters is right now. Embracing the present moment means letting go of the constant mental chatter and truly engaging with what's in front of you. For example, if you're working on a task and your mind begins to wander to future worries or past regrets, remind yourself, I can only control what I'm doing right now. Focus entirely on the task at hand, whether it's a conversation, a project, or just being mindful of your surroundings. By fully immersing yourself in the present moment, you become more productive, more engaged, and less affected by negative emotions. One of the reasons why living in the present moment is so powerful is because it helps you break free from the cycle of resistance. Often, we resist reality. We wish the past were different, or we fear what the future holds. However, resistance only creates frustration. When we accept that the present is all we have, we can move forward with clarity and purpose without being bogged down by the weight of the past or the fear of the future. Another powerful aspect of embracing the present moment is the ability to accept what is happening right now without judgment. This doesn't mean you stop striving for improvement or change, but it means that you stop fighting reality. Let's say you're stuck in a situation you don't like, whether it's a traffic jam, a challenging conversation, or something else. Instead of becoming frustrated or anxious, the Stoic mindset tells you to accept it as it is. By doing this, you stop wasting energy on something you can't change, and you redirect your focus on what you can control, your thoughts and reactions. Living in the present moment also allows you to experience life more fully. Often we are so caught up in thoughts about the past or future that we miss out on the richness of the present. The people around you, the experiences you're having, and even the small moments of peace. These are all things you can appreciate right now. Mindfulness is not just a buzzword. It's a way of truly living rather than just existing. From a dark psychology perspective, people who live in the present are harder to manipulate. Manipulators thrive by creating fear, anxiety, and distractions, often about the future. When you live in the present, you become immune to these tactics. You stop reacting emotionally and instead start making decisions with clarity and control over your inner world. Living in the present moment is about engagement, engaging with the world and with yourself. It is an empowering practice that not only increases your emotional resilience, but also allows you to experience the beauty and peace of life as it happens. Number 3, virtue is the only good. One of the most central tenets of Stoicism is the belief that virtue is the only true good. This powerful concept challenges the way we typically view success and happiness. In a world that often places value on material wealth, power, and status, the Stoics taught that these external factors are ultimately fleeting. True happiness and fulfillment come not from external achievements, but from the cultivation of virtue. For the Stoics, virtue was the foundation of everything. It was the only thing worth striving for. They defined virtue through the four cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Wisdom is the ability to make good judgments and understand what is truly important in life. Courage is the strength to stand up for what is right, no matter the difficulty. Justice is about treating others with fairness, integrity, and respect. Temperance is the ability to control your desires and actions, choosing moderation over indulgence. The Stoics understood that external circumstances are often beyond our control, and that wealth, fame, and even relationships can be lost in an instant. But virtue, when cultivated and upheld, remains unchangeable and eternal. If you live your life with wisdom and justice, no one can take that from you. If you live with courage and temperance, you'll never be at the mercy of external circumstances. Why does this matter? In the modern world, we often chase things that we think will make us happy. The latest gadgets, a promotion, or a perfect relationship. But these things, while they may bring temporary satisfaction, ultimately don't lead to lasting happiness. The Stoics argued that if you place your value in external things, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. True happiness, according to Stoicism, is not the pursuit of material wealth or social approval, but the pursuit of virtuous living. The beauty of this Stoic principle is that it gives you the power to shape your own life. Unlike external factors that are out of your control, virtue is entirely in your hands. If you practice self-control and resilience in the face of hardship, no one can take away your sense of integrity. If you make decisions based on wisdom and justice, you stand firm in your beliefs, regardless of what others think or say. Dark psychology. Living by the principle of virtue not only transforms your life, but also shields you from the manipulative tactics of others. Manipulators prey on weaknesses, whether it's greed, fear, or a lack of self-discipline. When you embrace the Stoic virtues, you become immune to these manipulations. Virtue gives you an inner strength that others cannot easily exploit. For instance, when you cultivate justice, you act fairly and with integrity, even in situations where you might be tempted to take shortcuts. This honesty and integrity make you unpredictable to those who rely on deceit or manipulation. Courage allows you to stand firm in your beliefs, even when others try to sway you, while temperance prevents you from falling into the trap of impulsive decisions or indulgence. The Stoic virtues act as armor against the turbulence of life. They help you navigate challenges with grace and confidence, rather than being thrown off course by external forces. They create a strong, unshakable foundation that keeps you centered no matter the storm. In practical terms, practicing virtue means taking conscious action every day to align your life with these principles. It could mean speaking up for someone who's being treated unfairly, justice, staying calm when faced with a stressful situation, courage, or choosing moderation over excess, temperance. Every time you make a choice aligned with virtue, you're building a life that is rooted in something unbreakable, your own character. Number 4, amor fati, love your fate. One of the most empowering and transformative Stoic principles is amor fati, which translates to love your fate. It's the practice of not just accepting what happens in life, but truly embracing everything that comes your way, both good and bad. Amor fati teaches us to welcome every experience, every challenge, and every obstacle as a necessary part of our journey. It's about viewing life as something to be cherished, even in the face of adversity. The Stoics believed that the key to achieving inner peace and tranquility was not to resist the inevitable hardships and setbacks that life throws at us, but to accept and love them. Instead of wishing that things were different or that certain events never happened, amor fati encourages you to see every experience, whether joyous or painful, as an essential piece of the greater puzzle of your life. In other words, life is what it is, and the way to find peace is to embrace it fully without regret or resentment. Why does this matter? In today's world, many of us are conditioned to avoid pain, discomfort, and anything that feels like failure. We often think that success is about getting rid of obstacles and creating a smooth path forward. But the Stoics understood that obstacles and challenges are a natural part of life, and not something to be feared or avoided. In fact, these struggles often provide the greatest opportunities for growth. For example, when you face an unexpected challenge or setback, instead of reacting with frustration or despair, Amor Fati encourages you to embrace it. You might think, this challenge is part of my journey, and it is making me stronger. Whether it's a personal struggle, a professional setback, or a difficult relationship, Amor Fati helps you shift your mindset from victimhood to empowerment. It allows you to see every experience as a gift, even if it's wrapped in adversity. The key to Amor Fati is not just acceptance, but the love of everything that happens. It's about training yourself to love the twists and turns of your life, even when they're uncomfortable or painful. By doing this, you stop resisting what's happening around you and instead flow with the current of life. You stop wishing for things to be different and begin to appreciate life as it is. This practice creates profound emotional resilience. When you love your fate, you stop being controlled by your emotions. Rather than becoming anxious, angry, or frustrated when things don't go as planned, you can face them with equanimity and clarity. Amor Fati teaches you to be present and fully engaged with life, no matter what challenges arise. Dark psychology. From a dark psychology perspective, embracing Amor Fati makes you more unpredictable and invulnerable to manipulation. Manipulators rely on triggering fear or regret in order to control your actions. They try to exploit your desire to avoid discomfort. However, when you practice Amor Fati, you no longer fear difficult situations or setbacks. You see them as opportunities to grow, rather than threats to your well-being. This makes you emotionally untouchable. You become more independent, grounded, and resilient in the face of manipulation or negative influences. Practical application. In practical terms, Amor Fati means responding to life's difficulties with a sense of gratitude and curiosity. When things go wrong, instead of spiraling into frustration, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or, how can this challenge help me grow? By doing so, you transform life's obstacles into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Call to action. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. What part of your fate have you been resisting that you can begin to embrace today? Share your thoughts in the comments and leave an empowering phrase that reminds you to love your fate. And if this principle resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Stoic. Number 5, the power of self-discipline. Self-discipline is the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy and is often seen as the key to achieving true freedom. It is the ability to control your impulses, emotions, and actions in a way that aligns with your long-term goals and values, rather than succumbing to momentary desires or distractions. For the Stoics, self-discipline wasn't just about controlling external behaviors, it was about mastering your inner world and ensuring that your actions were guided by wisdom and reason. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Whether it's social media, impulsive habits, or societal pressures, it's easy to lose focus and let your emotions guide your decisions. But the Stoics believed that true freedom comes from the ability to control yourself and to make decisions based on what is truly important to you, not on what feels good in the moment. This principle allows you to make deliberate, intentional choices that align with your higher values and goals. Why is self-discipline so crucial? Without it, we become slaves to our desires. We act based on immediate gratification, whether it's binge eating, excessive spending, or giving in to fleeting emotional impulses. Self-discipline helps us transcend this pattern and live a life driven by purpose rather than fleeting whims. It enables us to choose what's best for us in the long run, even when it's hard or uncomfortable in the moment. One of the most important aspects of self-discipline is consistency. It's about showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it. It's easy to be disciplined when things are going well, but the true test of self-discipline comes when life throws challenges at you. Whether it's sticking to your fitness goals, following through on your commitments, or staying calm in a stressful situation, the Stoics believed that self-discipline was key to maintaining mental clarity and emotional control in the face of adversity. Self-discipline also gives us the power to ignore distractions and focus on what really matters. The modern world is full of distractions, from technology to social media, making it harder than ever to stay focused on our goals. But Stoicism teaches us that focus is a virtue. By disciplining our attention, we free ourselves from the constant pull of distractions and can channel our energy into the things that truly matter, like personal growth, relationships, and work that aligns with our values. From a dark psychology perspective, practicing self-discipline helps protect you from being manipulated by others. Manipulators often prey on our emotional impulses and vulnerabilities, convincing us to act out of desire, fear, or greed. But when you practice self-discipline, you gain control over your emotions and impulses, making you less susceptible to manipulation. You are no longer swayed by external pressures, and instead, you act according to your principles and inner values. In practical terms, self-discipline can manifest in many ways. Choosing to exercise regularly, even when you don't feel like it, managing your time effectively, or resisting the urge to indulge in unhealthy habits. The Stoics believed that the more disciplined you became, the stronger your character would be, and the greater your sense of inner peace and fulfillment would be. The power of self-discipline is that it provides freedom. It's ironic, but when you gain control over your actions, you stop being a prisoner to your impulses. Instead of reacting automatically, you act intentionally. You become the master of your life, not a slave to your emotions or circumstances. Call to action. What area of your life do you need to apply more self-discipline? Whether it's in your habits, relationships, or work, share your thoughts in the comments below and let me know how you plan to strengthen this muscle. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Stoic insights and strategies. Number 6, memento mori. Remember you will die. One of the most striking and impactful principles in Stoicism is memento mori, which means remember you will die. This principle is a reminder of the impermanence of life, that our time on this earth is limited, and we never know when it will come to an end. In a world where distractions and long-term goals often overshadow the present, memento mori encourages us to live with urgency, to appreciate every moment, and to focus on what truly matters. The Stoics taught that death is the ultimate equalizer. Regardless of your wealth, status, or accomplishments, death will come for everyone. By keeping death in mind, we are reminded of our mortality and the fleeting nature of life. It may sound morbid, but in fact, this reminder is incredibly liberating. It pushes us to stop procrastinating, to stop wasting time on things that don't matter, and to live each day as if it could be our last. When you remember that life is finite, you begin to prioritize the things that truly matter: relationships, meaningful work, personal growth, and contributing to the greater good. One of the reasons why memento mori is so powerful is because it puts things into perspective. When we get caught up in day-to-day stresses, we often lose sight of the bigger picture. We become consumed by trivial worries, such as how others perceive us, what we own, or what we haven't achieved yet. But when we remember that time is short and death is inevitable, those worries lose their power. We start to question whether what we're chasing is worth it and whether we're investing our time wisely. Take, for example, the way we approach fear of failure. How many times have we hesitated to act or tried something new because we feared failure or judgment? When we reflect on memento mori, we realize that life is too short to let fear hold us back. We're reminded that failure is temporary, but the regret of not trying can last forever. This shift in perspective allows us to take bolder actions and pursue the things that truly matter to us, rather than waiting for the perfect moment. Memento mori also encourages us to live with purpose. If we understand that our time is limited, we are far less likely to waste it on meaningless distractions or unnecessary drama. Instead, we focus on creating a life that is aligned with our values, whether it's spending time with loved ones, pursuing a passion, or making a positive impact on the world. Remembering our mortality fuels us to take meaningful action. The Stoics didn't use memento mori as a way to encourage despair or sadness. Rather, they used it as a way to remind us to embrace life fully. By accepting that life is temporary, we begin to appreciate its richness. Every moment becomes more precious because we understand that it is not guaranteed. Living with awareness of our mortality helps us become more mindful, more grateful, and more connected to the present moment. From a dark psychology perspective, memento mori also provides emotional immunity. Manipulators thrive on creating fear of loss, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. When you embrace the reality of your mortality, fear loses its power. You stop living in the shadow of regret or what-ifs, and instead, you become untouchable. The awareness of your finite time helps you act decisively, live authentically, and avoid being controlled by irrational fears. Practical application. How do you apply memento mori in your life? Start by reflecting daily on your own mortality. This doesn't mean obsessing over death, but simply acknowledging it. Use it as a tool to keep yourself grounded and focused on what truly matters. Whether it's making a phone call to a loved one, tackling a project you've been procrastinating on, or spending time in nature, use the awareness of time's limitations to fuel your actions.